We all thought it when we initially arrived in Elbaf. We all thought, okay, this is finally it. It is finally time. It is Usopp's arc. Arc for Usopp. Usopp getting a power-up, whether it's he's getting Mjolnir, or he's getting a devil fruit, or he's unlocking his haki, like really learning how to use it. However the reason, whatever the way, Usopp will obtain some kind of boost. And then we saw Frankie behold the mural, and Lilith was like, dude, check out this technology that's ancient but also way too advanced for mortal comprehension. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is Frankie's arc, actually, because we missed out on it in Egghead, because Egghead was the Bonnie arc and the lore dump arc and the ocean is gonna swallow up the world arc. And then we saw Brooke with the Gunko, and Gunko with the little mini flashback, and she was like, oh my gosh, are you Brooke? And then Eam was like, oh, let's put a damper on that memory thing, so let's stop that right there. Well, we're back, and it honestly, it's anyone's game at this moment. So hello internet, I am the hero of Julios, once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1173, Warrior Generation. The art this week is Usopp and Chopper. They are trying to entrap a rhino beetle by sticking a bunch of honey on Usopp's nose, kind of like a flower, so that the beetle will theoretically land on Usopp's tree branch-like nose, start eating the honey, and either Usopp can just grab it right there, or Chopper can lunge out and grab it. But either way, they're grabbing a rhino beetle. That's a lot of fun, but no cover story yet. But yeah, as far as the chapter itself goes, things are bad. Things are real bad. We got the giant warrior pirates. They've been Domi reversied, and they're walking towards Jarl. Just kill Jarl. Get him! End him! Take him down! We shall be the new kings of Elbaf, as they're brainwashed by Emu. And Jarl and the others prepare for the worst. They get ready to fight. Fortunately, Zoro has a plan. Boys and girls at home, I will give you a minute. You can put it in the comments if you want. I'll even stop for a second. But the question of the day is, did you predict Zoro's plan? Was his plan A, an elaborate strategy that somehow gets rid of Domi Reversi? B, an elaborate plan that somehow uses his Conqueror's haki to defeat all the giants in a single blow? Or C, just cut things until you win? So Zoro asks Stanson and Haruden, is it okay for me to just cut them up until I win? And they said, well, these are the giant warrior pirates. They were our heroes as kids, and we really have a lot of respect for them. So if you could just not put them to shame by completely whooping them upside the head. Now, I understand, respect your elders, understand where you came from. Your history is in the heartbeat of these giants. However, they're Domi Reversied, and currently they're jerks. They turn to Haruden and Stanson and they say, huh, is that Haruden? Yeah, and that's his buddy Stanson. Oh, have you guys united all the giants yet? Ha! What a stupid dream. And that's when the two of them look at Zoro and they said, you know what, on second thought, go ahead, just do whatever you need to do. Just do whatever you want. And Zoro said, awesome. So Zoro leaps into the air because, yeah, Sanji can fly, but Zoro can also leap really far. Honestly, flight is such a neutral ability at this point in One Piece. But Zoro actually hops from head to head of each giant, which, as he was warned earlier by Haruden, don't get between them, because that's what'll Domi Reversi you, because that's what they were explained back when Kashi was giving them the lowdown. So Zoro's like, that's okay, because he's going to hop from head to head. He gets above all of them, and he just, big old slash. I think it's like Way of the Six Powers. Let me just double check. Yes, the technique's name was Crossing the Six Paths. And as we know, Zoro uses a lot of Buddhist and food in his techniques, onigiri, Rashomon, all that kind of stuff. But so Zoro gets all these giants in one blow, and as he is coming down from this sky attack, Dory and Broggy, they are both lunging towards him, and Zoro manages to slash the air, creating kind of like his Caliber Phoenix attack, but instead of a ranged attack going outward, he uses the air pressure to propel himself backwards, which is just in time because Dory and Broggy just cut right through each other. We know this isn't going to actually do any lasting damage, but it's always brutal to see these kind of attacks that the infinitely regenerating people under Eames' control are capable of. It is, I mean, those are lethal attacks. Dory and Broggy are masters of lethal attacks. They spent 100 years practicing their sure kill final blow strikes, and they are on full display here. But with that, I guess that's Zoro's plan, is just slice them a bunch of times. We'll probably get to a point where he's taking the fight more seriously. Haruden and Stanson are also helping him. So it's technically, I want to say it's a 3-on-2. It might be Zoro versus Dory and Broggy with Stanson and Haruden either playing support for Zoro or taking on all the Domi Reversied heroes of their generation. Either way, they're in for a tough fight. But Jarl and the other giants are there too, so I'm not super worried about Zoro. The real meat and potatoes of this chapter, though, the biggest part, is Brook. What is he up to? Turns out Brook is still tied up, so I guess I was wrong. He didn't detach himself, though that would have been really cool. But he has been inchworming his way to Gunko. At least I thought her name was Gunko. But Brook starts calling out to her, Princess Shuri. Now, for those of you who don't know, because it was like one line of dialogue that happened one time at the end of Thriller Bark, and then we never touched on it again, but it's always been something I've been interested in. Brook was the member of a royal guard, a royal convoy. He was in service of a crown of sorts. So Princess Shuri, someone Brook recognizes. He even says, it's impossible, it can't be you, because the Princess Shuri I know would be 80 years old by now. And, I mean, you look just like her, though. You have the mismatched eye color, you have the blue hair, you look just like her, so you must be a descendant or something. But regardless, Princess Shuri, if it is you, I am absolutely furious that I'm seeing you again. One of the best parts about being dead was knowing I didn't have to look on your stupid face again, you patricidal princess. Now, the official translation just calls her father killing princess, but I love this one fan translation I saw that it was patricidal princess, which is, for those of you who don't know, that means to, end the life of your own parent. But, so, that wasn't on my bingo card, is Brook hates Gunko. We were all like, oh, okay, the little flashback, Brook with the little princess, or little girl at the time, and it's like, okay, he dreams of being a pirate, this must be someone from when he was alive, who's gonna be a heartwarming reunion. No, he hates her. In fact, he even says, the person that I owe my life to was ended by you. And Gunko, upon seeing Brook, or I guess I should say Princess Shuri, upon seeing Brook, she actually has a moment of clarity, and she releases the arrow on him, freeing him from the bondage. And we even see that this is across her entire power disruption, because as Colin and the other little kids are walking, they see the little arrow that's been pointing them. It starts wobbling. And Colin's like, oh, hey, that's weird. Why is it wobbling? In this moment of clarity, she frees Brook and she says, Brook, run. And immediately Eam is like, oh, hey, what you doing there, buddy? Using that pesky free will there. Let's do something about that real quick. And unfortunately for Brook, his leg gets grabbed in the bandages again. But, I mean, if you were gonna bind me, you would have to bind me like both hands. You would bind both feet together. To have a binding on just one leg is the equivalent of making someone wear a sock. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem, because Brook even said, even if the bones break, it doesn't matter because my soul is what's me. So not really worried about Brook's leg. It would be a shame if it broke. Oh, he'd have a peg leg. That'd be very cool. Very piratey. But anyways, that's pretty much... Oh, actually, no, we get another we get another big important thing. As Gunko told Brook to run, Gunko gets retaken over by Eam. And Brook, not understanding what's going on here, he just tells her, oh, you're not getting away with this. I'm here to finish what was started. Not what I started. Not what you started. What was started. So, maybe a revolution, maybe a betrayal, maybe a misunderstanding. Whatever happens, that Brook flashback is coming. And we're going to see the history of Gunko and Princess Shuri and how this all ties together. But Eam's not a big fan of this because anything that makes him lose control makes him go crazy, as we've seen many times. So in his Gunko-controlled form, he lunges towards Brook. I think he has a sword in hand. Let me just double check real quick. My mistake. It's the pitchfork that he summoned for Gunko earlier. But he actually says to Brook, "Who are you?" to Gunko. So, in terms of power scaling, for those of you who enjoy power scaling, we know Luffy is the top brass of his crew. We know Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei are the three commanders, although they're all considered like in charge of his crew. But the monster trio is Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. Then there's Jinbei. You could technically say Sans the captain. Zoro, Jinbei, and Sanji would be the secondary monster trio. You got Frankie with the weapons, Robin with her amazing devil fruit. You don't typically think of Brook as the strongest Straw Hat crew member. However, Brook does hold the record for most non-Luffy on-site confrontations to very powerful individuals. Because Brook technically took on Gecko Moria. So technically, Brook did face one of the 7 Warlords of the Sea, which matches Luffy and his countless Warlords of the Sea fights. Brook did 1v1 Big Mom and caused damage to Prometheus and Zeus at different points during Whole Cake Island. He even went so far as to call her a young lady. He said, "Listen here, you little whippersnapper." Like, Brook taunted and damaged one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea's minions. And now, finally, Brook actually has full contact combat now. Granted, it was a defensive. He hasn't actually struck yet. But Brook is actually the first member of the Straw Hat crew to take on Eam. That was not the one I was thinking, but kudos to Brook. My mom's favorite member of the crew is Brook. She just likes his aesthetic. My mom's a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. She also likes his afro. He's also just a fun guy. So that's cool. A win for Brook. I really like that. And thanks to Brook's shenanigans, we cut back to the rest of the crew, and they're free. Well, unfortunately, Robin is still bound by the thorns. But Usopp is free, Jinbei's free, Nami's free, and Usopp is saying, "Whoa, I did it! My mind bent the arrows, and we got out of here." And Jinbei's sitting there like, "Yeah, I mean, that's a explanation, so I guess we'll take it." And Nami's trying to free Robin, but Robin says there's no time. Either save the children or save the library. Just save something. I'll get out of this, don't worry. And that's kind of where we leave off with them. The chapter comes to a conclusion where we are at the children. They're with Sommers. Sommers is just kind of sitting. I think he's on a tree branch, but he's just sitting there. He's looking at Colin, and he's like, "So, you're Scopper Gabon's kid, huh?" He's like, "Yeah." No, I'm just saying I knew the guy. Like, this, it's kind of funny. I fought him many times. My dad beat you up a lot? No, I am Sommers. I don't lose fights. I just retreat really quickly from them when I need to. Because I'm so cool. I'm Sommers. But anyways, as you can see, boat's right there. You kids are doomed. And you'll make great bargaining chips. And I don't know, maybe I'll keep one of you as a slave or something. I haven't really decided yet. It's really all about what Eam wants. I'm kind of tired, a little hungry. You know, you would think being immortal, I wouldn't really have to worry about fatigue. But man, it's been a long day. I had to put on pants. Like, I'm wearing my coat. Like, I was the whole plan for today was just lounge in my underwear. But You know how it is. You make the pact, you get sucked away all the time, you don't really get that pesky free will anymore. But hey, I don't need it. It's not like I think for myself. I'm Sommers. But anyways, yeah, you're pretty much doomed. Oh, hey, look, your mom's here. And yeah, that the moms of the generation are coming to save their children. And Colin's like, look out, Mom! And this, the Nightmare Nika, because, you know, all the drawings of the children. Nightmare Nika shows up and he stabs the ground, and the children are obviously worried, but their parents tell them, do not worry. We are from the warrior generation. As Ripley and the other moms, and I think Oimo's there too, they just bash through this Nika, knocking it back a little bit, and it gets ready to fight again as we see Gerd and we see Goldberg. And the two of them strike that oh so famous Elbaf pose. I love this attack. As the two of them get ready to attack, and they're like, okay, just like we practiced, Goldberg. You got it, Gerd. We can do this. And as the two of them are getting there, Rhodes shows up and he's like, no, hang on, guys. I'm gonna save my brother. Let me help too. As the three of them create Gokoku sovereignty. I don't know. Maybe like Ikoku is one person attacking. That's Big Mom. Hashoku, I think, is the pronunciation for Dory and Brogy when it's two. So maybe Gokoku is three people doing it. But anyways, big sovereignty attack. I love seeing this. This is one of my favorite attacks in One Piece. Just because I just love the giant blast, the Spear of Elbaf, as it slams through this Nika and it's flying towards Sommers. And Sommers makes a club out of thorns, I assume, and he goes, oh, you guys are trying to knock me over. Well, let me show you how powerful I am. Where's it going? As it flies right over him and destroys the ship. And you just see Sommers looking at it, and he's like, oh, dang. Because in his infinite intelligence, because Sommers is so cool and so tough and so amazing, he brought one ship, I'm assuming. Judging by the look on his face, it does not seem like there was a backup plan here, because who needs a backup plan when you're guaranteed to win? If there's no backup ship, then how are you going to get all these little kids off the island? Now, as we saw from the flashback with Rocks and how he responded to Shocky not being his prize anymore because the Rocks pirates showed up and the Roger pirates showed up and the God Valley incident happened. This guy's a bit of a sore loser. And the kids are no less than 20 feet from him. I'm not saying we're going to lose a kid, because I don't think Oda would even dare to do something like that. But the children are in pretty big danger right now. Because, like I said, Sommers is a sore loser. So, aside from that, though, not really anything crazy else in this chapter. Nothing new. The chapter came to a close. For those of you who watch me once a week, you're going to notice next Monday there will not be a video from me. That is because I will be in Nevada, specifically Las Vegas, for the national tournament. I'm not in it, my brother is, but I'm hoping to get into the LCQ. We're gonna see, because I guess they changed the rules about how to get into it. That's not important. What is important, though, is the comments section of this video. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think Brook and Gunko's connections to each other are? Because it seems to be much more deeper and much more angry than we originally had perceived it to be. So that'll be something to behold, and I'm looking forward to it. I will say my next video for the next chapter will probably be Wednesday at the earliest. Most likely it's going to be closer to Friday, just based on plane schedules. But anyways, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.